holiday home required in Slovenia, a place in the sun at 4:15, right after an afternoon of racing.
Let's call it Tote Jackpot Towers, Barry.
Great idea, Tony, great idea.
Yeah, put it there, son.
Cheers, mate.
Wait, here we go.
Let's have a look.
Round.
Oh, what a place. Look at that guy.
Tote Sport, sponsors of racing on Channel 4.
Going to the races? You bet.
This is the way to do it, trolling all tranquil down the Thames, courtesy of French Brothers Boats, who run this service on all race days between Windsor Town Centre and the racecourse. A fantastic way to travel, as we of course are on the water, only fair that I've spliced the main brace already, and I'll let you into a small secret. Some of the locals don't half have big houses. This afternoon from Windsor, we're bringing you 3 races, starting with the celebrated artist Piran's Strange Paints for Spark Stakes. Trips off the tongue, that one. That's at 2:30. At 3:05, the Tote Scoop 6 Wentworth Stakes. And at 3:40, transferred down here from Doncaster, where they've got the builders in, it's the Totesport.com November Stakes. Well, we're all at sea, so to speak, up here, but we're operating on dry land down at Wincanton, and in charge of things there, Alice Plunkett, who is gradually getting big enough to be a hazard to shipping.
I tell you, I'm not just getting there, I'm there. I am an official shipping hazard. Welcome to Wincanton. The sun is shining. It really is the most perfect jumping day. We've got lovely ground and 3 great live races for you as well. £150,000 on offer. We've got 2 Grade 2s and a listed race, and local hero Paul Nicholls has got a runner in every single one of our races. He got 6 winners here back in January. Can he go 7 today? And the bookmakers have got him, I think, quite short, 229 to 1 to go through the card here this afternoon. Well, we've already had a couple of races, and the 105 saw Paul Nicholls' representative Kicks for Free. Good to see Ruby Walsh over here. That always bodes well for the Nicholls team. And Kicks for Free, you remember, 3rd in the Cheltenham bumper, 3rd in the Aintree bumper, making his hurdles debut here this afternoon. A very, very short price favourite. Let's pick up the closing stages with Graham Good.
Kicks for Free with an advantage here. Look to the right, here comes a big Canadian. On the left is Present and Correct. Final flight now, and there's only half a length in it. And on the left, Present and Correct is making the favourite work, and he goes past the favourite. So it's going to be Present and Correct, but this Kicks for Free rallies in good style as the post comes, and Kicks for Free have plenty in reserve, quickens up and goes clear. It's Kicks for Free, 2 Present and Correct, and the big Canadian in 3rd.
Well, the bookies were impressed and have cut Kicks for Free to 12 to 1 from 16s for the Supreme Novices Hurdle at the Cheltenham Festival in March. He was a 2 to 11 favourite here today. Ruby certainly was impressed, but I think the horse to take away certainly was Present and Correct of Philip Hobbs's. As I said, we've had 2 races already, and let's just tell you what happened in the 135. The Nicholls representative was Boldfire. It's a mares-only race, this, and Boldfire looked particularly well in the paddock beforehand, but not necessarily particularly fancied. Refinement of John Joe O'Neill's, a 6 times winner, was the one that everyone was looking at. Let's join Gigi.
Boldfire to the left, United. 1 and 2, Refinement under pressure, making heavy weather of it. She's our native, Silver Charmer. This is the last. Boldfire comes to it, pops it well. Boldfire with the lead, to United in 2nd place, and then Refinement looking very one-paced. They race inside the last 150 yards, and it's Boldfire, another one for the Nicholls yard. It's coming 6 clear up towards the line. Boldfire takes the race. Boldfire wins well. It's going to be tight for 2nd. A judge's verdict, very close between United and Refinement.
Well, Boldfire really appreciating a step up in trip here, this mare. She wins at 9-2. Refinement a little bit disappointing on one pace. May well go to the paddocks now. And Boldfire, though, is going to go chasing, making the most of that 4-year-old allowance and the mare's allowance. She'll be running under 10 stone. A little bit of a concern to Ruby Walsh, who was impressed with her today. So that was the first 2 races. We've got 3 live races for you here on 4. The 2:10, which is coming up, the Rising Stars Novices Chase over 2.5, 3:20, the Badger Rails Trophy Handicap Chase over 3.1, and then at 3:55 we round off with the Elite Hurdle over the 2 miles. And Paul Nicholls, already 2 on the card, can you believe it? Could it be 229-1, 7-timer for him? It's certainly not out of the reckoning.
Thanks a lot, Alice. Well, we'll be back at Wincanton in a few moments' time for the 2:10. But in addition to Windsor and Wincanton, we're bringing action from Northern Ireland, from Down Royal, where it's the James Nicholson Wine Merchant Champion Chase. And among the runners is the reigning Gold Cup winner, War of Attrition.
War of Attrition by only a length and a half to Hedge Hunter at the last. Great jump by War of Attrition. Hedge Hunter travelling and challenging hard. It's War of Attrition, Conor O'Dwyer, chased hard by Hedge Hunter, and Ruby Walsh is going to be an Irish 1-2, and it's War of Attrition who's staying on best, and War of Attrition wins the Gold Cup.
Well, War of Attrition has already won a race this season, and Showdown with Beef or Salmon at 2:40 is going to be worth watching. Now let's go down to see Tanya and find out the shape of the betting headlines.
Well, Alistair, I'm here to see whether punters sink or swim at Windsor. We've just seen War of Attrition. He's being opposed with adversaries such as Beef or Salmon and Justified. He's drifting out to around 4-6. The big headline is Windsor. It's really quiet in the offices. The one that, though, they are backing is in the November Handicap. You put your faith into Scriptwriter, who's on offer with 5-1 with VC Bet. They're still the biggest price, but now it is down to around 130. And at Wincanton, it's quite easy to say literally everything they're backing is trained by Paul Nicholls, and in the upcoming live race at 2:10, this Turco is around 4-7 on the exchanges.
Well, there's Windsor Castle. Fantastic autumn colours here at Windsor Day. It really is one of the most attractive and picturesque racecourses in the country. I'm sounding more and more like Derek Thompson by the minute, but it is a cracking place. It's a figure of 8. It's slightly weird configuration, but in this fantastic afternoon autumn light, it's going to be super. Right, Scope 6 update. Now, bet in today so far 174,880. That's got a wind fund of 173,000. And the first Scoop 6 race, remember, is here at Windsor at 2:30.
Well, welcome back to Wincanton. Joining me here this afternoon is John Frankham. John, you couldn't be in a nicer place for jumping today.
As close as I can get to you, Alex.
Okay, enough.
Yeah, tremendous conditions. When I walked around, I thought it was going to be a little bit on the quick side, but they're making a really good print. But the sun's quite strong, and they'll be missing the hurdle out, I would imagine, in the next race. Mm-hmm. And it's one of the few courses too where they actually jump 4 open ditches, 2.5 miles or 2 mile 5 in this case. But it's a good test. If you get a horse good enough to win round here, they've got to have some speed to, get their heads in front.
Are we going bonkers about this Paul Nicholls thing?
We do tend to go over the top a little bit. I mean, it would be wonderful if he gets 7, but, talk about putting plenty of pressure on him. They've all got chances. The horse in the race after this, he's a bit of an unknown quantity in as much as, he hasn't run over fences yet. He's taken on handicappers. But his horses are in incredibly good form, and it's a big advantage that, they spent last night, in their own boxes. And they're all, as I said, healthy.
Absolutely. So it's 2 from 2 so far, and it's got a very short price favourite for our next race. Here is what's coming up. And what a great race it is. It's the Towpool Rising Stars Novices Chase. 2.5 is the trip. It's a Grade 2, a prize fund of £35,000. As John said, the ground here is good, riding on the far side. 17 fences to negotiate for the 5 runners.
Yeah, it was won by a really good jumper in Celtic Sun last year. The smallest horse in the field is Predator. He's won 4 races so far, won his last 3, but he's tiny, hasn't got much of a neck either. He's a 5-1 shot for Tony McCoy. Bowlees, 2 starts over fences. That's a ridiculous price. He's a real big chasing type and the biggest, the best jumper I've seen out of this little field. Boy Chuck beat Bowley's on his debut, a little bit sketchy though, didn't look anywhere near as assured as Robert Horner's runner, but the form of these runners, they've all ran in one very good hurdle race at Cheltenham. Boy Chuck finishing just behind Turco and Aztec Warrior behind him. Aztec Warrior having his first start over fences, he looks well. Henrietta Knight's horses are in good form, and Turco, who won at Liverpool, jumped well for his first time. I must admit I thought that he had a little bit of improvement to do. I didn't think that he was quite snappy enough when needed to be. This is him at his best. This is at the end of the race. Just have a look, see what you think about this. Going down to the last, gets plenty of height over it. To me, he's you know, he's only a 4-year-old. He's getting loads of weight from these other horses. He could easily fall and still win it, but as I said, it's a watching brief for him, and he's definitely on a learning curve with regards to his jumping. That's the same for Boy Chuck as well.
Yeah, Paul Nicholls has done particularly well with the 4-year-olds from France, hasn't he? And Andy Stewart as well. Senkos made the most of that weight allowance. And looking at him here, I agree with Paul. He's a big, strong sort, isn't he?
Well, when we first saw him come over, you know, he was nowhere near as strong as he is now. He's always had the size and scope about him. And these 4-year-old chases actually began at Chepstow, and I think they were only about 2 a year then. They've got far more popular, and of course trainers didn't take long to latch on to the fact they were getting a huge weight advantage. But he's a short price, I think. I wouldn't want to be taking that price about him getting round, never mind winning.
So the second round at start, it won't be long before the off. Graham Goods, our commentator this afternoon.
Starter on his rostrum, lining up. They're off. They've got 17 fences to jump, and it's a line of 3 as they arrive at the first. Predator on the inside, Bowley's and Turco on the outer. They go on to Boy Chuck and Aztec Warrior at the first. Oh, and Bowley's has gone. Bowley's a faller at the first. And that hampers Aztec Warrior. That's pulled up, so we're down to 3. Turco on the outside of Predator. Horse and jockey appear to be okay. Down towards the next. And Predator on the inside of Turco. Then we've got Boy Chuck in third. They've taken 4. Begin the turn out of the back straight. And it's Turco on the outside of Predator. Predator and Turco 1 and 2. Boy Chuck back in third place then. Coming down towards fence number 5. At which Turco led. Predator in second, Boy Chuck in third. So they come to the top of the home run for the first time in this Tote Pool Rising Stars Novices Chase. Turco with the lead to Predator in second, Boy Chuck in third, closing. Fence number 6 now. And it's Turco on the right, Predator on the left. Boy Chuck in third. Middle fence in the home straight. Turco a bit close, Predator in the middle, Boy Chuck on the left as we look at them coming down the home run to fence number 8. All 3 in the air together then, so what a racing prospect. A.P. McCoy, Predator, goes into the lead here by about a length to Ruby Walsh and Turco, and then Boy Chuck and Richard Johnson in third. They swing right-handed. And away to the 9th, the water jump. Predator with the lead. Bowley's is okay, he's on his feet. Hasn't been a good week for Miss Radford. Miss Radford, the owner of Aztec Warrior, Racing Demons colours, of course. So they begin the turn towards the back straight. And it's Predator with the advantage to Turco. Predator and Turco to Boychuk. Just getting a bit outpaced, Boychuk, at that one. Getting a little bit detached by about 3 or 4 lengths. A racing pace down to the next. Good jump by Predator. Really close in on the action to Turco in second place. AP McCoy, Ruby Walsh. Down to the next. Turco the better jump. Predator the inside. Boychuk reminders. One more open ditch to jump, and this is it. Turco by length to Predator, and then Boychuk under pressure. Starting to turn out of the back straight. Down towards the 4th from the finish. Turco for the Stewart family with the advantage to Predator in second place. Predator closing in. Good leap by Turco. Predator in second, Boychuk in third. Turning for home. 3 to jump. Turco goes clear by 5. Boychuk, to be very fair, is staying on for pressure. Predator back in third. They've got 3 to jump. It's Turco with the advantage. Boychuk in second place. Predator third. Turco 3 out now. Turco comes to it. He's over safely. Boychuk in second. And now Predator just a shake of the reins. 2 to jump. Turco. Oh, a mistake, a bad mistake. But he recovered well. Then Boychuk in second place. They've still got 1 to jump. And it's Turco with the lead at the last. A better jump there to Boychuk as they race up towards the line. It's Turco. This 4-year-old weight advantage tells again. It's Turco with the lead to Boychuk in second and Predator in third. Only 3 finished.
Well, 3 from 3 now for Paul Nicholls, and well done to Turco. Well done to Ruby Walsh for keeping the partnership intact, 2 out.
Well, we were laughing beforehand. I was saying that I wasn't too impressed with Turco's jump, and I was with Bowley's, and he managed to tip up at the first. Didn't get much of a run with him. But he just showed he's still a little bit novice-y. But as I said, he's a big horse, and he's 4 years old, and he's still learning. There's no doubt that he's got lots of ability, but he's still got a little bit of learning to go.
He's just not great when he gets in tight, is
No,
he?
he just doesn't move his feet fast enough. I think he's still quite big for his frame, but you know, Ruby's done really well to keep him on his feet. And going down to the last, luckily saw good stride, made everything a lot easier for him.
Yeah, well done to Boychuk as well, because he was off the bridle from quite a long way out, and he never gave up, and probably a lower grade. And there's certainly some races to be won by him. But Turco, where does he go from here?
I don't know. I imagine they'll try and keep him somewhere where he's not going to be off the bridle early on. You know, go through his education, if you like. But 3 down, 4 to go. So, you know, fantastic start to the afternoon for them.
He was jumping left all the way as well. Is that something that would worry you, or do you think he'd be seen to better effect going left-handed?
Well, he'd obviously be better going left-handed, but I think if in a bigger field, Ruby'd probably try and keep him covered up. He's not, you know, going violently left-handed, and I think if he had a horse on his outside, it'd stop him altogether. But it'll something they'll be thinking of when they're looking through the entries for his next race.
Yeah, and disappointing, obviously, for Bowley's falling at the first. Here's his mistake. He just goes to chip in, and they are very upright. They take some jumping, these fences, don't they?
Yeah, they are, and they just go away from you a little bit, just a slight drop, you know, on the land inside. So, you know, just makes horses have to use themselves a little bit more. But no, you know, listen, he's 4 years old. He's a big horse, so they'll be thrilled with him.
And we've got some news here. Turco unchanged now for the Royal and Sun Alliance, as is Boychuk. Turco 16 to 1 for the Royal and Sun Alliance chase. Boychuk 33 to 1. But he returns the 4 to 7 favourite here today from Boychuk at 6 to 1. Third in the end was Predator at 5 to 1.
Well, tremendous stickability from Ruby Walsh down at Wincanton on Turco. Let's just check on non-runners here at Windsor this afternoon. We've got a couple that are not with us here, and they are Frank Sinatra in the 2:30 and Keto in the 3:5, and down at Wincanton at 5 to 4, Peruse is not with us. Well, amazing balance Ruby Walsh has got, because Jim McGrath was just saying to me, they really clout those fences. You saw it from that side shot. But there was never actually a moment when he looked like coming off, though many a jockey would have done just that.
Well, it's amazing how bookmakers are going to try and balance their books if this run for Paul Nicholls continues at Wincanton. Of course, the prices will contract on all the Paul Nicholls runners even further. And that's quite apparent on the exchanges in the 320 at Wincanton, sorry, with the bookmakers as well. Number 2, Ladalco in the Badger Ales Trophy. That was 11-4 this morning, now backed into 9-4. Windsor's market movers, however, we've got number 5, Scriptwriter, which I've already mentioned, the VC bet 5s into 130. And one of the tipping lines has put up Country Pursuit 28-1 into 16-1, and when we're just off air, Walter Swinburne's Pinpoint's been back from 6s into 9-2. Now, quite a lot of that is reflected on the exchanges. Ladalco is a positive. At Windsor, though, in this 305, a negative for last year's winner, number 1, Presto Shinko, and also Barry's Bismarck is drifting out, number 6, Great Britain. And in the November handicap, the 340 Group Captain is a massive price, out to 12, 14-1 Group Captain. That's a huge negative too.
And as ever, we're running our champion tipster competition, the chance for you to make a few quid on the racing this afternoon. 3 races here at Windsor, 233, 5 and 340. The 2 at Wincanton are the 320 and 355, and of course the big one, the James Nicholson Wine Merchant Chase from Down Royal at 240. Usual rules, now a number to ring, 0906 957 4444. And the bonus prize, and as well as the cash you win, is a VIP trip for 2 for the Paddy Power Gold Cup. That's at Cheltenham next Saturday. Lunch with Paddy Power in their hospitality suite, a £500 free bet, accommodation, and 100 quid to stick in the petrol tank.
Well, I don't know whether it's a good or bad omen. There's a line of rails bookmakers behind me, and there's 13 of them, so we'll see whether that's a good or bad omen for the bookmakers. So far, it isn't too bad. Every favourite has been defeated. Centaurus is leading the market in this race. Centaurus is 2-1 favourite. Orcadian, however, is being back, 3s into 11-4. What horse they don't want is this Alfie Flitz. Opened up 5, now out to 13-2. Bull Run, the other Godolphin horse, that is 4-1. They've coming back from a massive layoff. Centaurus is coming back from 401 days off, and Bull Run from 927 days off. Take a bow at 10, and it's 20 bar those.
Yeah, Centaurus is the one for money on course. Fabulous scenes here at Windsor. We're going to bring you the action after the break.
How's it looking, Barry?
Well, he's got half a chance.
Humans need their personal space. Personal space varies according to where we are and who we're with. When we're forced to compromise our personal space, it can create tension. With its 3 cubic metre cabin, the Seat Altea satisfies our need for space. With its sporty looks, it also satisfies another human need, the need for fun.
To celebrate our 25th anniversary, we're giving you 25% off Bosch power tools and all spotlighting. Homebase, make a house a home.
It's the Harvey's sale, and this leather corner group has an extra 10%.
Oh! Hurry, extra 10% off at Harvey's. Ends Monday, 8 p.m.
On holidays to Mexico, First Choice give you more legroom in economy than any other UK airline. That's why we're First Choice.
Right, I need a top-brand laptop that looks great.
Okay.
I need the latest Intel Centrino Duo mobile technology to run demanding applications at the same time.
Philips FreeVent X56.
It needs a gig of RAM.
Yep.
It needs an 80-gig hard drive. And it needs to be lightweight. I'd get all that for $699.
Yep.
I need it before they've all
Here.
gone. Oh, thanks very much.
Internet prices to take home today. PC World. The best of both worlds.
We forgot the serenader. Well, let's do it now. Now.
Let me call you sweetheart. I'm in love with you. Let me call you sweetheart. Let me call you sweetheart.
This Christmas, Orange has broadband and mobile offers that help you stay close all year round. Togetherness. Keep it going.
Discover what your family tree reveals about you. This Sunday, get a free CD-ROM to help you trace your own family tree. Free inside the Sunday Times.
Yeah, let's get that 4-1 before it disappears, Barry.
OK, Donny.
Well, welcome back to Windsor, everybody, and we shan't lack for high-quality intellectual input on what's going to win the races this afternoon. Because with me now is the sage of Halifax himself.
I've been saving that up all afternoon.
Jim, this is an extraordinary race. I mean, these two Godolphin ones have been off since the Second World War.
Well, I mean, it is funny that the head of the market is two horses that have been off for one a minimum of a year, one longer than that.
Yes.
The other horse at the front of the market's a time-form Squiggle. The one thing we can say is that they should go like bats out of hell. There's plenty of pace on here, so it won't be a tactical affair. And, you know, we'll try and sift through it.
Sift through it. Let's have a look at our opening race here this afternoon from Windsor, and it's a charity event. The celebrated artist Piran's Strange Paints for Sparks. It's the charity. It's 1.5 miles. You've got Frank Sinatra not with us as expected, leaving 8.
And we'll start with Alfie Flitz, who is, in point of fact, a Godolphin throwout. But the Swinbanks have done extremely well with him, though he was disappointing last time out, and he got plenty to do at the weights here. Bull Run, 2 runs, 2 wins. One for David Loader, one for Godolphin. Sorry, both for David Loader. Transfer Godolphin, serious injury, lot to prove, but he did go well fresh in the past. Camrose has been called some names in his time, but he will get a race here that suits him. He's a horse who travels strongly just behind the pace, and on his day is up to winning this. Centaurus has had quite a few problems over his career so far, but he too is a horse who goes well fresh. He seems an inveterate front runner, and he'll soon be handy, I would think. Midas Way has had a high level of form in his time, but it's a while ago. He ran OK on his reappearance, a stinker the next time, and the punters aren't really interested today. Orange Touch, another somewhat disappointing animal, beaten in a handicap off a mark of 100. The ability is there, but whether the inclination or the soundness that you need is another matter. Orcadian is quirky. I dare say many channel viewers know him well, but this track would suit him. The twists and turns, he likes to be up there handy, and I think he'll force it with Centaurus. And finally, Take a Bow, who ran a blinder in the Cambridgeshire, but only OK when fancied last time out. A little bit disappointing last week at Newmarket, but he does have a chance on that Cambridgeshire form.
Well, with no favourites winning so far, it's a very quiet betting ring, with the exception of the money pouring on Bull Run, the perceived second string for Godolphin. Bull Run's been back from 9-2 into 3-1, and because of this, something has to drift, and it's been Alfie Flitz, not wanted at all, opening up at 5, drifting out to 7, and still no one backing Alfie Flitz. Centaurus has been a solid favourite at 2-1, and Orcadian at 3-1, but Bull Run is the story of this race, 9-2 into 3.
Well, we had the morning line this morning. That's every Saturday on Channel 4. But you can get other information on a daily basis from Channel 4 by getting involved with the www.channel4.com racing website for the latest news, betting results, turf tracks data, the Channel 4 exchange, and plenty of tips. No coincidence that a record number of people going bust has been recorded this year.
Well, Jim, the interesting thing of this money here for Bull Run, because Godolphin, don't have to keep a horse for 900 days, and they've both kept him, persevere with him.
Yes, and the other common denominator in what we know about Bull Run is that when he won, the first time was here, the second time was at Epsom, both with plenty of give in the ground. So conditions are ideal, distance is ideal, and it appears, not that they're a punting stable, but somebody is plenty confident enough that he still retains loads of ability.
Now, is it named after running the bulls in Pamplona or the bloodiest battle of the American Civil War?
I'll let you decide that.
Yeah, I think it's running the bulls in Pamplona. And I think it was interesting, you give Camrose a squeak here.
Well, he has a similar running style to Bull Run. He's a strong travelling horse who sits just in behind. Some people say he's not much of a battler, but has got plenty of ability. He's running any number of decent handicaps. A lot will depend whether my view about the pace is correct. There is Camrose on the right, wears headgear, and sometimes when push comes to shove, he can stick the old head up. But I think there'll be plenty of pace on, and that could well play into the hands of those who like to come with a late run. Morning Line Extra on Monday to Friday. The ever enthusiastic Derek Thompson, a regular player in that. Unbelievable, brilliant, any other adjective you want, every day. There are tips on www.channel4radio.com. Click on the Morning Line and follow the instructions. That's Monday to Friday from 8:30 a.m.
We're starting to load all these horses. Haven't seen stalls for a few years, especially the two Godolphin one. There are some quirky characters in amongst this. I don't think it's the easiest puzzle to sort out on the punting front. If you had to nail one to the floor, Jim?
I'd follow the money.
You follow the money, and I'll put Camrose up against the money. Well, it's easy start for Simon Holt. He's called in this afternoon, but he has, of course, the November Handicap to look forward to later.
And this is the starting point for the November Handicap, the mile 3.5 furlong start. In the red cap, Midas Way, and in the red and yellow, that's Bull Run in the stalls, just a little agitated. Despite being off for 927 days, Bull Run looks very fit indeed, done plenty of work. And they're off and racing then. And in the early stages, it's Orcadian that's rushed into an early lead from Orange Touch in second, then Camrose in third. Centaurus is back in fourth. The pace is very strong through the first furlong and a half or so. Followed by Bull Run a little wider and a white cap, then Take a Bow, Alfie Flitz and Midas Way held up at the back. Well, Orcadian has gone scurrying off, leads by a couple of lengths or so to Orange Touch. And then back in third is Centaurus in the all-blue jacket. The white cap aboard the grey Bull Run in about 5th or 6th place, the second Godolphin colours. Lying just third is Camrose in the red cap. Alfie Flitz towards the far side, and the dark green jacket is Take a Bow. And finally, out the back still is Midas Way. They race towards the bottom turn, Centaurus having gone off the 2-to-1 favourite, but his stable companion Bull Run by no means unbacked at 3-to-1, along with Orcadian, the current front runner. Orcadian leads then by a length to Orange Touch. They appear to have gone a very good pace in the early stages here around this bottom turn, with just over 5 furlongs left to cover. Camrose sits third, then Centaurus just gets a shake of the reins there from Ted Durkin. Take a Bow follows these, Alfie Flitz on the heels of them. Bull Runner's lost ground now, and his second last with Midas Way has been in the rear throughout the tail end Charlie. Running towards the final half mile, Orcadian is stoked up again by Richard Hughes here, trying to really run them ragged. Centaurus running on now towards the outside, followed between the pair by Camrose. These three battling away. Take a Bow trying to land a blow, and Alfie Flitz in the noseband is not out of it either. And these are chased by Midas Way as Camrose begins to get on top of Orcadian, going for a run up the fence, just a bit short of room there. Take a Bow has to be switched with plenty of clear daylight. Is Alfie Flitz on the outside, and it's Alfie Flitz that comes through to shade a narrow advantage, followed by Orcadian, who has the running rail. Camrose in between the pair and Take a Bow as they enter the final furlong, and Alfie Flitz begins to power away here, disappointing at Newbury last time, back to his best at Windsor today, and it's Alfie Flitz by 4 lengths to Orcadian as they run to the line, and Alfie Flitz wins this race in good style, a race where stamina really told. Orcadian in second, tight for third between Take a Bow and Camrose. Midas Way, the Godolphin runners both very disappointing, Bull Run and Centaurus, and Orange Touch was the last to complete. Alfie Flitz at 8-to-1 is our winner here. Don't know what happened last time, he ran badly at Newbury, much better today.
Is that yours? Huh? Is that yours?
Yeah, career best performance from Alfie Flitz, did that really well, and yet another feather in the cap for Alan Swinbank, who's had a wonderful season.
it's been a tremendous season for trainer Alan Swinbag. He's had former Decree win the Cambridge Collier Hill, win the Canadian International. Alfie Flitz defied that awful run at Newbury when he got beaten 29 lengths. He certainly turned that round, romped home by 4 lengths to win this race at 8-1. What a drifter he was in the market. Second was number 8 Orcadian. He kept on well at 3-1. And third was number 4 Camrose at 16-1. Your own place favourite, yet another beaten favourite, was number 5 Centaurus at 2-1.
Yeah, Alfie Flitz, he wanted to win it, unlike some who were pottering in behind him. Completely put that abject run at Newbury behind him. Was hosed up in the opener, 8-1. The Bull Run money has been left behind. Toward Godolphin, neither of those ran any sort of a race. But another good day for Alan Swinbag.
Thank you.
Now, over at Down Royal, the minutes ticking away to the James Nicholson Wine Merchant Champion Chase. Be their massive crowd there for this afternoon. And this is how they bet. War of Attrition 7-4 on. B4 Salmon just a little easy, out to 11-4 from 5-2. Justified a 5-1 chance. Botha Nar, who's a potential long-term Grand National hope, double carpet along with Cloudy Bays. And 100-1 another rum and Light on the Broom. Well, Jim, in the paddock, the Gold Cup winner.
Yeah, War of Attrition, who we know about his well-being because he made a satisfactory reappearance at Punchestown recently. He jumped. I thought he was a little bit flat-backed at a couple of times, you know, almost careless. He could get over them, so he didn't really have to make the fine shape that he usually does. But, well, those pictures were a few moments ago. Here they are live on the track, parading before the big race. You won't miss a thing. We'll be back very shortly.
Right, get it ready, Barry. Here we go. Right, okay.
Get your skates on because Citroën prices are frozen this month. The chic C1 City car from only £5,695. The spacious 5-door C3 from only £6,690. Or Britain's favourite MPV, the Zara Picasso, from just £8,995. All great value prices with cashbacks applied. Cool Citroën deals.
9 golf courses, 6 resorts and Condado da Lama, a world of resorts, including 3 luxury intercontinental hotels. Apartments and villas with all the luxury you could possibly desire from £81,000. All with the benefit of Polaris World, one of Spain's most prestigious property developments. Here in Murcia, right next to some of the best beaches in Spain.
So if you're considering buying a house in Spain, don't forget, visit Polaris World. Maybe tomorrow, better today.
Luxury Spanish properties by Polaris World.
Multiply your possibilities. Introducing Intel Core 2 Duo, the world's best processors.
Come into Comet for great low prices. On your left, save £100 on this sat-nav with free Philips MP3 player. And on your right, save £200 on this Belling Silver Range cooker, now only £599. Comet. We live electricals.
Fellas, I'm ready to get up and do my thing. I want to get into it, man, you know. Like a sex machine, man. Moving, doing it, you know. Can I count it off? 1, 2, 3, 4. Get up, get on up. Get up, get on up. Stay on the scene. Get on up. Like a sex machine. Get on up.
Do you have a thing for coffee? Then we have a thing for you. New Nescafe Dolce Gusto.
Be nice.
Nice watch.
Titanium. What's this?
BT Home Hub. Adam's got broadband.
Snap.
This is wireless with built-in security. We can chat for ages over the internet.
Okay, kids. Shall we go?
With wireless, security and inclusive UK evening and weekend calls over the internet, it really is a more complete broadband experience. From £9.95 a month for the first 6 months.
3, 2, 1,
gone through the valley of the shadow of death and I've come out the other end. I think if 2 or 3 people want to start, maybe we should.
Why didn't you feel like that last Saturday when my leg was this big and I was crying?
Right now I feel so weak.
No normal person does these things. I know I have to do it if I don't want to die by the time I'm 35.
Over 3 consecutive nights, Too Big to Walk starts Monday at 9 on 4.
Welcome back, everyone. Scene at Dunroll, just before the James Nicholson Wine Merchant Champion Chase. 140,000 yo-yos up for grabs, 15 to jump and 7 go.
Well, let's spin through the runners and riders. The field headed by another rum, 100 to 1 shot, who had jumping problems last season, particularly on his final start. B4 Salmon, 3 to 1, last year's winner. He's had a tune-up over hurdles. If he's cherry ripe, he's more than good enough still to give War of Attrition plenty to think about. Botha Noir, horse who's already had a good season. He's won 2 of his last 3, but this is a much tougher assignment. Cloudy Bays, 8th 4 weeks ago in his reappearance, should be the sharper for that, but we still don't know whether he retains the ability he had a couple of seasons ago. Justified, Paul Carberry on board, Tony McCoy unable to take the ride today due to his commitments. We know he was a good novice last year. Light on the Broom is a decent performer who pays his way, but in terms of rating, he's about £50 behind the likes of War Attrition and B4 Salmon. And the Gold Cup winner himself, who's very short at 4 to 7, though we know he is in good form.
We do know he's in good form, but this is a B4 Salmon set of circumstances as well. Small field, softish ground. And the man who's going to call this for us, Desi Skyle.
Cloudy Bays, the first to show in front of B4 Salmon with Justified in 3rd. Bohana races on the outside of War of Attrition, and they're followed by another Rum and Light on the Broom on the inside. But as they make their way towards the first fence, it's Cloudy Bays and Davy Russell who lead by 4 to 5 lengths from B4 Salmon. Justified is 3rd. Bohana is in 4th place, being followed by War of Attrition, Light on the Broom, and the back marker is another Rum. So they continue on their way now towards the second fence, and it's Cloudy Bays bowling along out in front. Justified moves second on the inside of B4 Salmon. Bohana is next with another Rum, and War of Attrition and Light on the Broom. Coming now to face up to number 2, Cloudy Bays clear. Justified is second. Then B4 Salmon with, on the inside, War of Attrition alongside Bohana, another Rum, and Light on the Broom. So they're continuing now to begin the climb towards the top of the hill and the entrance to the straight. And Cloudy Bays out in front of Justified in second as they begin now to climb up towards the approach to the straight where they'll face fences 3, 4 and 5. 15 in all to jump in this 3-miler, and Cloudy Bays takes them up now towards the entrance to the straight with a clear advantage over Justified, who's being followed by B4 Salmon and Bohana. Then War of Attrition racing in company with another Rum and Light on the Broom. Facing up to fence number 3, first of 3 in the straight, Cloudy Bays out clear. Under Davy Russell, Justified touches down in second. Disputing the third, B4 Salmon with Bohana. War of Attrition on the inside of Light on the Broom, and on the outside is another Rum. So they come downhill now to fence number 4. Little change in the order. Cloudy Bays continuing out in front. Justified is second. Then B4 Salmon, Bohana, War of Attrition, another Rum, and the back marker is Light on the Broom. So they come on now to the 5th of the 15 fences. taking them up now to run past the stands. They've 2 miles left ahead of them. Cloudy Bays leads at a reduced advantage now to Justified in second. And both of them jinked a little bit to the left, but all's well as they come to run past the stands now in the James Nicholson Wine Merchant Champion Chase. It's Cloudy Bays and Davy Russell leading, Justified Paul Carberry. Then on the inside, B for Salmon, Andrew McNamara with Bohernau and Davy Condon. War of Attrition, Conor O'Dwyer on the inside of Light on the Broom. Robbie Power with another rum and Alan Ross towards the outside. Fence number 6 now, 10 left to jump. Cloudy Bays, Justified second, B for Salmon third, followed by Bohernau, Light on the Broom, War of Attrition and another rum. Fence number 7 coming up. Cloudy Bays continues in front, Justified is second, then B for Salmon on the inside of Bohernau, War of Attrition, Light on the Broom and another rum. As they go now towards the 8th fence, taking them on away from the stands up to the halfway stage. Cloudy Bays from Justified, and they're being followed by B for Salmon on the inside with Bohernau next, War of Attrition, Light on the Broom and another rum. So they head now to swing right-handed to face up towards the 9th, and Cloudy Bays, Davy Russell just over 3 in front. Justified is second, matching strides for third is B for Salmon with War of Attrition improving on the outside. They've gone on a few lengths in front of Bohernau, Light on the Broom, and then comes another rum. So they're heading up now to the fence that'll take them to the point of departure, and less than 10 lengths first to last as Cloudy Bays leads, rising to this one, couple of lengths in front of Justified. B for Salmon is third, War of Attrition is fourth. Then Bohernau, Light on the Broom being followed by another rum. So they continue on now towards the next fence on the far side. This will be 5 from the finish. And in front, Cloudy Bays, just a length leader now to Justified. A couple of lengths to B for Salmon on the inside of War of Attrition. They're followed up by Bohernau in fifth as they clear that one. Little change up front. Cloudy Bays by half a length now. Justified close up on the outside. 2.5 lengths to War of Attrition, B for Salmon. Being tracked by Bohernau, then Light on the Broom, and they've gone on from another rum. 4 fences left to jump, and it's still Cloudy Bays. A narrow leader to Justified moving up on the outside, and Justified has jumped to the front there from Cloudy Bays. War of Attrition and B for Salmon, they're third and fourth. Bohernau just behind them. Couple of lengths to Light on the Broom, they're clear of another rum. Now beginning the long run to the turn into the straight, where they'll have 3 fences left to jump. Justified, Paul Carberry has taken over. War of Attrition now makes ground the outside, and B for Salmon improving on the inner as Cloudy Bays drops back to 4 with Bohernau 5 and then Light on the Broom. Racing to the turn into the straight, 3 left to jump. Justified is the leader, 2 lengths in front, and War of Attrition just seemed to stumble fractionally on the turn there. B for Salmon is next with Bohernau, and Cloudy Bays trying to come back. Justified, War of Attrition, B for Salmon, then Cloudy Bays. Down the hill they come towards the second last, and it is Justified who leads, and Conor O'Dwyer now getting at War of Attrition to close on the inside. B for Salmon only a length and a half down on the outside, but War of Attrition comes through on the inner now to just pick it up with Justified on the outer at the second last. War of Attrition touches down in front. Justified second, Cloudy Bays a faller. Bohernau's on ship, Davy Condon, and it is the Gold Cup winner. War of Attrition who leads. B for Salmon who's trying to come back at him on the near side. They're over the final fence, and War of Attrition has a battle on. Here comes B for Salmon, a winner here 2 years ago. A tremendous finish to the Jim Nicholson. B for Salmon on the near side. B for Salmon, and Andrew McNamara is going to win it for the second time and beat the Gold Cup winner, War of Attrition. Tremendous finish. They're cleared of Justified. Light on the Broom and another rum, the only other finishes.
Jump well. Well, small field, soft ground, that's B for Salmon's absolute territory. He's a mighty force under these circumstances. War of Attrition's done nothing wrong. The winner, Jim's jumped better than he can.
Yes, he really didn't make any howlers. He knuckled a couple of times on landing, but you can see why maybe the Hurrigan family took issue with some of the things that have been said about him in England, because there's no doubt, Alistair, that for all he might have a jumping problem, he's certainly very game, because he had to dig deep.
He's tough as boots, and Andrew McNamara gives him a few smacks. If he gets a whip band, of course, it'll be McNamara's band.
And a fine effort too from War of Attrition. Horses at level weights. They pulled clear of Justified, who's also run an excellent race for all he jumped left. It's a terrific occasion.
Yeah, and what a race. You know, this side of the season, you've got to finish a neck or so between Beef or Salmon and War of Attrition.
And
we've
it's clearly
got
worked
months
as a
of
race
this to
that,
come.
hasn't it? You know,
Yeah.
it's pulled the good horses up from Ireland each year so far. You know, the first news we want tomorrow morning is that they're all right and we'll live to fight another day.
No, it's great stuff. Really terrific action from down. Right, have another squint. There we are, Beef or Salmon. Hugely popular in Ireland, you know. Over here we're a bit rude about him because he's disappointed in Gold Cups, but he's very much part of the warp and weft of things. And here, Jim, because Connor had switched inside Justified on the turn, you thought that he was going to get away from them.
Yeah, he was. That's the horse crashing out those cloudy bays, and behind him, Bothanar also gets rid of his jockey. The horse in third at the minute had been jumping left, and Connor was on his outside before that fence. He switched inside sensibly, so he didn't get carried left by Justified. And I thought he had Beef or Salmon in between the last two fences, but from the last up the run in, inch by inch, it's Michael Hurrigan's stable star who forges on.
Yeah, Michael Hurrigan, I mean, he adores this horse and he defends him, you know, against the sort of pundits over here. But he has disappointed when he's come over here.
Oh, it's a fact.
Because it's not small fields, it's not a slow pace, and he's the hustle and bustle, get him at him.
And possibly the contours, although you can, you know, in saying that, arguing against that, he's had to run downhill there to some extent, but he'll get a great reception.
He will indeed. The apple of Michael Hurrigan's eye. And he took up a terrific performance and really put it all in to mug the Cheltenham Gold Cup winner.
Well, early reaction to the Gold Cup. Spoke to sponsors Tote Sport, who leave War of Attrition at 3-1. However, they have shortened Beef or Salmon from 33s into 20. This upcoming race here at Windsor, the bookmakers have priced up, and Great Britain is rather weak in the market. It's Barry's Bismarck. It opened up at 2, out to 9-4. The backed horses in the race are Isted Fod at 7-2, Rising Shadow 8s into 7.
Well, in those superb sunlit sylvan scenes, we're going to take a quick break.
Well, horse's favourite bookmaker, you betcha.
Right, Gareth, you comfortable?
Yes.
Okay. Just going to ask you a few questions.
Sure.
Do you have blue eyes?
Yes.
Are you wearing a tie?
Yes.
Did you cry at the end of Titanic?
No. Yes.
Does a new polo cost £7,490?
Yes.
Oh.
That's probably a loose wire there.
Yeah, try.
My finger's starting to burn.
This is the story of the boy who had a Christmas wish. His dad wanted him to be the happiest boy at Christmas time. And to make him the happiest boy, he knew exactly what to do. He reached up high and got hold of the Christmas wish and took it to a place where Christmas wishes come true. Don't Christmas shop for it, Argos it.
How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. I love thee with the breath, smiles, tears of all my life.
Because our homes and possessions are all different, we all need home insurance that's right for us. Swap your home insurance to HSBC. We'll match your existing policy as closely as we can and could beat your renewal quote by at least £60. Call us now with your renewal quote on 0800 023 4321. HSBC, the world's local bank.
My name's Frankie, and this is my story.
What am I going to do, Jim? Fancy?
Like me jackpot jig, Barry?
Tote-tastic, Tony, tote-tastic.
Welcome back, everybody. That is the closing scenes from Downroll. Just to confirm the SP. Beeful Salmon, the winner at 11-4. War of Attrition, second at 7-4 on. Justified, third at 5-1. Now, in a few minutes' time, we're going to have a look back at the flat season and see what caught the eye of various members of the team. But before that, let's get an update on the Scoop 6.
So, the Scoop 6 today. We gave you the pool at the start of the state of play. Total bet, £209,960. The win fund, 185 grand. The bonus fund, 79. And after one leg, 11,700 tickets are still active.
Not every flat season is memorable, but this has been a cracker with some moments of real resonance. First class, in fact. Here's what the team made of it.
My favourite moment of the flat season was Speciosa's win in the 1,000 guineas.
There wasn't a dry eye at Newmarket.
Pam Sly, a trainer, much more associated with jumpers.
Small yard, little filly, they turned down 7-figure offers.
And didn't Speciosa strut her stuff on the day? They came down in their busloads from Thorney near Peterborough.
And she won a classic. It was great. I was tissues everywhere.
And Pam Sly, the first woman trainer ever to train a classic win.
So far as improvement goes, two horses stand out, Red Evie
Horse of the year for me.
and Young Mick.
One of the heroes of the season.
Now, Red Evie had 8 races. She won the first 7, the last one a group race. As for Young Mick, well, he was just phenomenal. 19 races, 10 wins, including 4 at Ascot.
Happiest man of the year got to be Clive Britton.
Look at his reaction after he landed the Falmouth.
God knows what Clive's on, but it just proves that life begins at 110.
Well, I was personally delighted to see Sir Percy win the Derby. What a story that was. Harry Ormisher, his breeder, who decided to give up photography to realise his dream.
He was the little fella who blew away the big battalions.
And what a fantastic run down the inside Martin Dwyer got out of Sir Percy, who was all heart that afternoon. Humble origins, but what a superstar.
If I had to choose just one moment, I have to go a bit soppy on everybody.
It's got to be Sergeant Cecil. I mean, who could have thought that he'd have improved on last year?
He had to step up this year, and he did so.
From handicapper to Group 1 winner.
Culminating in just a magical display on Arc Day at Longchamp.
What a day.
It's the only time this season that I've been off of my seat cheering.
Highlight of the season for me has to be the Ladbroke St Leger and 60s Icon.
Certainly one of the easiest St Leger winners we've seen for many seasons.
A horse with incredible tenacity and battling qualities.
Frankie Dettori was just sitting motionless halfway up the straight. He just had to press the button and 60s Icon just galloped away.
He's set sail now on the favourite Frankie Dettori, and 60s Icon quickens up willingly and is soon clear. A 4th Leger for Frankie Dettori. Favourite wins. 60s Icon lands the Leger.
Another highlight would have to be the spectacular finish to the King George, which saw world champion Hurricane Run somehow pull it out of the bag, which drew a rather unusual celebration afterwards from his French superstar jockey Christophe Soumillon.
And of course, you know, the Australian horse Takeover Target. What a treat it was to see him running here.
Can't look back on this season without thinking about what we haven't seen.
Kieran Fallon hit the headlines.
I don't think he was really given a fair crack of the whip.
Chips, but no steak.
We certainly miss him.
But for me, the finish of the year had to be the Juddmonte International. Do you remember at York in August?
Brian Moore gained his first Group 1 success on Not Now Cato.
Richard Hills thought he'd won, but he hadn't.
Head bobbing, Marrahill and Not Now Cato, and that is really close.
If you wanted the people's vote for finish of the year or most favourite race of the year, it has to be the Vodafone Nassau Stakes at Glorious Goodwood. Ouija board was everyone's favourite.
We won't see her again after 3 or 4 fantastic seasons, but at least in her case, she left us with a memory we'll never forget.
We all cried when Ouija board crossed the line in front, and you just can't help but watch it again and again and again.
The two top sprinters this season,
Les Arcs,
the horse who finished 8th in a maiden hurdle at Cartmel in 2004. There aren't too many champion sprinters that have started off their career in that manner. You couldn't believe that this horse would go on and win the Golden Jubilee at Royal Ascot, and
his win in the July Cup was sensational.
A bolt from the blue, and what a start for his rookie trainer Tim Pitt. Reverence was a horse who fractured his pelvis twice earlier in his career.
Do you think the problems they've had getting him back on the course?
A real triumph of patience from his owners and indeed his trainer, to the point this season where he really developed into a top-class sprinter.
Few horses make the headlines in quite the way that George Washington did.
Brilliant horse out on the racecourse.
And quite uniquely quirky, as we saw after last year's 2000 Guineas.
Despite Aidan O'Brien's best efforts to horse whisper in his ears, George wasn't having any of it.
But I suppose if you're that good, well, then you can do more or less what you want to.
The shock of the season was about to happen in the Ebor. Before the race, a horse called Mudawin traded at as big as 270 to 1 on the exchanges.
Two of the best supported horses were Glistening and Young Mick, and they appeared to be battling out the finish. But looking from the overhead shot, pan in on Mudawin, 100 to 1 under John Egan.
Even with the last 100 yards, you never thought he was going to get up and win.
Just imagine if you had backed Glistening, how sickened you would be as Mudawin comes from nowhere at 100 to 1.
Isn't it great with Mac in America? Fantastic. Marvellous memories there of the season. Let's just take a check on the betting up-and-coming action. And Great Britain is the favourite here. Now, there's a big NSPCC challenge going on at the moment with trainers, football managers battling away against each other. Harry Redknapp's in the lead, and Great Britain is his selection in this. 3 to 1 favourite, 130 Ice Stedford, look you. Presto Shinko 6 to 1, and Rising Shadow 13 to 2. 10's bar, we're going to take a rapid break.
Right, let's have a look at the early prices for today then.
How can I help?
Yeah, we were just wondering about the price of this golf.
The golf?
Yeah, the golf.
Oh.
Can you tell us how much it is?
Yes. It's 11,995.
I can give you what you want. I can make your heart beat short. I can make you ice cream. We could be a sweet tea melting in your vice dreams.
Multiply your possibilities.
I can give you what you
Introducing Intel Core 2 Duo, the world's best processors.
How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. I love thee with the breath, smiles, tears of all my life.
Buying a house in Spain with Polaris World is much more than just buying a property abroad for your holidays. Restaurants, 5-star hotels, at-home services, tennis, and the Nicklaus Golf Trail, all with the benefit of Polaris World, one of Spain's most prestigious property developers.
So if you're considering buying a house in Spain, don't forget, visit Polaris World. Maybe tomorrow, better today.
Luxury Spanish properties by Polaris World.
Soon, all of us will have to make the switch to digital TV, so for independent advice, call 08456 50 50 50. Why wait for the switchover?
The Harvey sale is now on, and this table and 6 chairs is half price plus an extra 10% off.
Hurry, extra 10% off at Harvey's. Ends Monday, 8 p.m.
Film 4 has a film every night at 9 that you'll want to see.
Oh, great. You got it. Like, hello?
We've got films we know you'll love.
I used to lie in bed and imagine other cities, other jobs.
And films that will seduce you.
I'm all yours. Are you? Tell me, what do you want?
Mel Gibson stars in 2 epic tales of war through the ages in next week's Double Take.
Go back to England. Tell them Scotland is free. Welcome to the new cavalry.
If you love film, you'll love Film 4.
We love it.
A great film for free every night at 9 next week on Film 4.
Oh, got anything for the big one then?
Welcome back to Windsor, everybody. And going into the stalls for the Tote Scoop 6 Wentworth Stakes, Keto is not with us, Tengo.
And essentially, not the biggest surprise, it was a bit of a move against Great Britain this morning. He isn't proven on soft ground, although in saying that, it's probably not as soft as we were expecting. At least in terms of ability, he is in form, which is something you can't say about Eisteddfod, Presto Shinko, who are good horses, but they have to put bad runs behind them. Rising Shadow's been in great form for most of the year. It just might not be soft enough for him. They look the principals.
We have a tenner on green slates. So, waiting for the last 3 or 4 to go in. Last 3 or 4. This is Eisteddfod in the Elite Racing Club colours. On the far side in the visor is Force's Sweetheart, who'll be the last one to go in. Rising Shadow goes to 11-2 as they prepare to go. Green Slay's just a bit restless in the gate. And they're off. Zoington was slowly away in the black and white jacket as they run through the first furlong. Force's Sweetheart in the all blue. Great Britain shows plenty of dash from Green Slade in a noseband. Eisteddfod away to the left. Over on the right is Violette in the red cap with Presto Shinko chasing her. Further back in the field, Danzilli Bay with Rising Shadow. Eisteddfod on the near side. Zoington the slow starter in the yellow colours. Andronicus is last of all. Great Britain just about has the advantage to Violette here. They trade blows past the halfway stage. Presto Shinko, last year's winner, with every chance on the far side. Green Slays is chasing with Force's Sweetheart, Danzilli Bay, Rising Shadow, Zoington. Eisteddfod and Andronicus now picking up from the rear. Great Britain has the stands rail. Violette under a strong left-hand drive. Presto Shinko out in the centre, just easing away to the left slightly as they race past the furlong pole here. Great Britain challenged by Presto Shinko, then Violette. Rising Shadow running on well, so too Eisteddfod trying to get up the rail but nowhere to go. It's Presto Shinko, last year's winner, taken on by Rising Shadow, close to the finish. Rising Shadow gets up to win. Rising Shadow beat Presto Shinko. Andronicus was running on well as well, with Great Britain disputing third. Then Eisteddfod, followed by Violette, Greenslade, Zoington, Force's Sweetheart and Danzilli Bay. Well, it looked as though Presto Shinko was going to make it back-to-back wins in this Tote Scoop 6 Wentworth Stakes. But Rising Shadow, who came good in soft ground at York last time, has come thrusting through in the hands of Franny Norton, finishing off easily the best to collar Presto Shinko in the last few strides.
Well done to David Barron, who trains this horse up in Yorkshire. Improved throughout the season, been running in many competitive handicaps. This looked another step up for him. In fact, it was a step up for him in terms of form. I just wondered whether it would in fact be soft enough for him, but it was. He beat Presto Shinko in the shadow of the post. Good drive from Francis Norton.
This was a mammoth gamble in the ring, back from opening price of 8-1, much bigger than that this morning, Rising Shadow, right into 11-2. You heard Simon mention it on the off that Rising Shadow was 11-2. He wins it, he beats Presto Shinko at 11-2, and Barry's Bismarck is sunk. Great Britain drifted right out to the 11-4 favourite, 3 at 1 point, but SP was 11-4. That finished just third.
Isn't it? Yes.
Well, David Barron, very shrewd outfit that is. They've had a nice touch on this. They've got zero tolerance, of course, in the November handicap later in the afternoon. Time for a quick break.
We're on at 5s, Tony. Right. Cheers for the tip, Jimmy.
Yes, sir.
Orientation, 7th floor. Sign in, please.
If you're a new full-time employee...
We've got the Q4 numbers. Germany looks good.
A people-ready business knows that every person it hires is an investment. With the right software, they'll be ready to hit the ground running from day one.
Nature can do wonderful things with just a seed, some water, and a little sunshine. But not half as wonderful as what Baxter's can do with the results.
When nature's done her job, we begin ours.
Come into Comet for great low prices. On your left, save £100 on this sat-nav with free Philips MP3 player. And on your right, save £200 on this Belling Silver Range cooker, now only £599. Comet, we live electricals.
I've got 7. I've got 4.
I've got 5.
I've got 10.
I've got 5. I've got 8.
8. 9.
I've got 11.
I've got 4.
Got 4 or more years no claims? eSure will only take on drivers like you, so you don't pay for other people's mistakes. Call 0800 030 4444 or visit esure.com.
No, I've got 8.
There you go, Tony. 6-1 with the horse's favourite bookmaker.
Well spotted, Barry. Welcome back, everybody. Franny Norton coming back on Rising Shadow, subject to some shrewd support down in the ring, according to Tanya. Happy owners, and rightly so. It's a good pot, and this horse improved all year. And a little bit earlier, we had our trophy presentation after our 2:30. This was the celebrated artist Piran Strange Paints for Sparks. And this Eleanor Barry represented the painter Piran Strange, and the prize being picked up by Brad Lloyd on behalf of the owner of Alfie Flitt's, Dom Flitt.
Well, back here at Wincanton, Andy Stewart was collecting a prize for the great win of Turco from Paul Darling, the non-executive director of the Tote. Well done to Judy and Andy Stewart. Well, certainly we've been talking all day about the potential of Paul Nicholls running up a 7-timer. He won the first 3 when you'd last left us, but let's have a look at what happened next. And Ruby Walsh, he's been riding out of his skin.
Yeah, this horse was jumping well. First time over fences, in the middle, yellow colours, and just comes to this fence, actually takes off, sees a good stride. This is Calduas, and takes off. Jumps it really well, just gets his back end up too high. Just have a look, there you go, gets it up above his withers, just doesn't get time to get a chance to get his front end out, and also fell there to the top one, Cosmos Blue, and that left the way clear for Petit Jean, and a change of fortune too for Richard Johnson. Made a bit of a Horlicks of the second last, but no problems at the last. First winner for about a week for Richard, so maybe that bodes well for his chances here.
Well, Ruby Walsh, it was a nasty fall, and he was taken away in the ambulance. He has what they call a blood injury, which is essentially a nosebleed, and as a result he's been stood down just for this next race. Then they reassess him and see how he feels, and hopefully he'll be back riding for later on in the afternoon. As a result, Daryl Jacob rides Ladalco in the big one, the Badger Rails Trophy.
Update you on the Scoop 6, and there are, after 2 legs, tickets remaining are 1,842.
Back here at Wincanton, I'm joined by David Pike. First of all, many congratulations to the Charlie Hall last weekend. A great result.
Yeah, it was a fantastic performance. Great for the yard and David Johnson, Timmy and everyone.
Now, can you add the big race from this weekend to that tally? Because Iris Bleu back to a decent mark.
Yeah, he's back to his winning mark that he won this last year. He's in very good form at home. He's another year older. He seems in good form, handles the track and the trip. Probably paid the price for winning this race last year for the rest of his season. So, like I say, he's back down to a winning mark.
Bit of confidence?
He should run well. He should be in the first three. There's, Ladalco's probably the one to beat. But as we know, they take some jumping round here. Touchwood, our fella jumps well.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Really good horse. He's just lost his way a little bit at the back end of the season, as David said. Lost a little bit of confidence, but when he won here last year, he was absolutely foot perfect. Big, strong chestnut, 10 years of age. Should be in his prime.
He certainly should be, and he's back to the sort of mark, as David said, that could see him win this Badger Ales Trophy Handicap Chase. 3 miles, 1.5 is the trip. It's a listed race, a 70 grand prize fund, 21 fences to negotiate for the 12 runners. And as we said, Daryl Jacob now rides Ladalco as Ruby Walsh has stood down just for this one race.
Let's just go through the runners and riders. Ballycassidy heading them. He's 40 to 1. Ran his heart out in the Grand National. Tipped up, remember, at Valentine's. Ladalco won a couple of smart races last year at Sandown. He's 5 to 2 favourite now. Good spear ride for Daryl Jacobs, who's attached to Robert Horner's yard. Good lad, takes £3 off of his back. Nil Desperandum, 4th in the Grand National. Good ride for Tom Scudamore, having his first run here this afternoon for Venetia Williams. He's a 25 to 1 chance. Celtic Boy, big step up for him really. Been running in novice chases, summer jumping horse. He's a 50 to 1 chance. And South Celtic Bard, who looks really big. First time we've seen him for about 9 months. He's only had one race. He ran up in the Great Yorkshire Chase last year, and he's been plagued with injury. Fork Lightning, nice horses. He likes Wincanton, and he jumps right-handed. So there's 12 to 1 chance for Robert Thornton. Sweet Diversion now 8 to 1. Liam Hurd. Paul Nicholls, he's been running well but needs to improve on what we've seen of him so far. Iris Bleu, we've told you all about him. He's 9 to 2 now. Preacher Boy 16 to 1, showed lots of good form last year. Looks as though he'll just need this race. And Alderburn, another one at 9 to 2, looks in tip-top condition for his first run for some time. And Parsons Legacy, Richard Johnson, has tight bits of form with 1 or 2 of these at 16 to 1, and Swansea Bay, who's won this race twice in the past when trained by Peter Bowen, 10 to 1.
Our trophy presentation after the Totes Group 6 Wentworth Stakes. It's Glenn Morrill coming up to receive the prize from Noel Harworth, the non-executive director of the Totes, and that's after the victory of Rising Shadow. It is indeed the Cheltenham Open, Friday through to Sunday next week. And on Friday, the highlights, the Sporting Index cross-country chase. That's across all that stuff out in the middle, great fun. Saturday, well, the big race, obviously, the Paddy Power Gold Cup. And on Sunday at 1 o'clock, the Greatwood Handicap Hurdle. Now, bookings, remember, 01242 226 226. The line's open on Monday, or you can do it online, www.cheltenham.co.uk.
Risking all at death-defying speeds, requiring precision and control, with no room for mistakes. World Cup skiing is back on form. Keeping you right up to date with all the action both on and off the snow as American Bodie Miller and Austrian Benny Reich look to battle it out for the overall World Cup title. Join me, Nick Fellows, on Sunday the 12th of November at 7:45 a.m. as a new season of winter sports gets underway.
Well, you can't believe it's come round again, can you? And they're Badger Ales, they're sponsoring our race, and great to see the heavy horses from the Badger Ales Brewery from Blandford, just down the road back here. Good supporters of Wincanton, and Badger, a sign you see out of many pubs round and about this area. Good local sponsors. Well, let's have an update of the market. Alderburn certainly was my pick of the paddock. That was him just walking through shot with Tony McCoy on board, and he's being backed accordingly 4-1 now. Second favourite from Ladalco, who's drifted out to 11-4. Daryl Jacobs now rides him. 9-2 Iris Bleu, 13-2 Sweet Diversion. Fort Lightning stays the same, 12-1 along with Swansea Bay, and then they're 14-1 bar. Fort Lightning, don't forget, a former Cheltenham Festival winner, and he's a really bonny, good-looking individual, isn't he? He's not that big, but he's a real little athlete.
No, I know he's a favourite of yours, Alice, and touchwood, he's been a good jumper, but that's Iris Bleu's forte, if you like. Certainly was when he won this last year, but they go a good clip. Need to concentrate with the sun just getting lower in the sky now.
It's been a race that Peter Bowen and Paul Nicholls have farmed. They've won 6 of the last 7. The Pipe team just breaking that last year, but Paul Nicholls having won 4 and Peter Bowen having won 2, and both well represented here this afternoon. They're about to line up. Let's get across to Graham Goode.
So they're coming in then for this, the Badger Ales Trophy. Walking in. They're off. It's over 21 fences. And as they run down towards the first, it's Swansea Bay that's immediately sent into the lead here. Swansea Bay comes down towards the first. Look to the right, we see Ballycassidy and Nil Desperandum. They're at the first. And Fort Lightning is a faller. Fort Lightning went at the first. Down to the second. And it's Swansea Bay with the lead to Parsons Legacy in second place. And up on the outside of those black and yellow colours goes Preacher Boy, coming quickly to the third. Swansea Bay with the advantage at the third now. And Ladalco went at that one. Ladalco out at the third. So they come up past us, and it's going to be Swansea Bay with the lead to Parsons Legacy running in second. Holding third is Preacher Boy. Ballycassidy on the outside is running in 4. Sweet Diversion is 5. In behind these comes Alderburn. Iris Bleu held up towards the rear as they close in on the water jump, fence number 4, over which the leaders are safe. Celtic Bar towards the back, and so they swing right-handed down the back straight, and it's Swansea Bay with the lead here to Parsons Legacy in second place, and on the outside Preacher Boy, wide Ballycassidy, attended by Sweet Diversion, then Alderburn. After these comes Nil Desperandum and Iris Bleu. Little change amongst the leaders as they head down towards the first ditch, coming to it now. And at it is going to be Swansea Bay, track record holder, with the edge. Swansea Bay to Parsons Legacy and Ballycassidy and Preacher Boy the front 4. And Nil Desperandum and Sweet Diversion and Alderburn and Iris Bleu as they pop that one. After these comes Celtic Boy. Celtic Bard is the one at the back of the pack. Down towards the next ditch, Swansea Bay, 13-time winner, with the lead. Turning out of the backstretch, and it's Swansea Bay, Parsons Legacy, Preacher Boy and Ballycassidy and Sweet Diversion, to Alderburn and Nil Desperandum and Celtic Boy, then Iris Bleu and Celtic Bard, as they go down towards fence number 9 in the Badger Ales Trophy. Coming into it, Swansea Bay bowling along in front, clear by about 4. To Parsons Legacy and Preacher Boy, then Ballycassidy and Sweet Diversion, then Celtic Boy and Alderburn and Iris Bleu. After these comes Nil Desperandum, Celtic Bard detached. Top of the home run then for the second time, down towards fence number 10. Swansea Bay with the lead. Swansea Bay to Parsons Legacy and then Preacher Boy. Coming into this one, and it's Swansea Bay with the lead. To Yellow Cap, Preacher Boy, yellow sleeves the inside, Parsons Legacy, red cap out wide, Ballycassidy, just a change of reins for that one, then pink cap of Sweet Diversion, the green of Alderburn, as they cross the middle fence in the home straight for the second time. Down now towards fence number 12, and so the order as they pass us, all jumping well. Swansea Bay leads to Parsons Legacy, and then Preacher Boy running in third, the dual course winner. Followed by Sweet Diversion, Ballycassidy, Celtic Boy, Older Burn, Nil Desperandum, Iris Blur very quiet at the back. And Celtic Bard still remains in last place as they swing right-handed and away towards fence number 13. It's going to be Swansea Bay with the lead. To Parsons Legacy, and Preacher Boy gets into this on the outside there, 1, 2 and 3. Then Sweet Diversion in fourth place, going the shortest way on the inside as they pop over that one. Celtic Bard still a little bit detached. They swing right-handed. And Swansea Bay, every poster winning one so far. But a reminder as he faces the first of 4 fences down the back straight. To Parsons Legacy and Preacher Boy. The front three have been in that position throughout. Sweet Diversion is in fourth place, and Nil Desperandum tries to get into this. Continuing the run down the back straight, 2 more open ditches to jump. This is one of them. Coming to it now, Swansea Bay with the lead. Again, a good jump. To Parsons Legacy and Preacher Boy. After these, we've got making up a bit of ground, Older Burn. Iris Blur a shake of the reins, but getting closer. Ballycassidy drops away. Celtic Bard's never got into it. Swansea Bay still leads. Continuing the run down the back straight. The next fence they jump is the last open ditch. Looks if Older Burn's going to be pulled up. It's going to be Swansea Bay with the lead. 2. Parsons Legacy in second, then Preacher Boy and Nil Desperandum gets competitive. After these comes Sweet Diversion. Don't rule out Celtic Boy getting into this now. Won the race last year, but a lot of work to do for Iris Blur as Swansea Bay finds more. He's clear by 6 as he lines up towards the 4th from the finish. Made every run so far. Paul Maloney rides. He's clear by 8. This is the 4th from the finish, and it's Swansea Bay coming into it. Just a little bit of a stuttery jump. Parsons Legacy and Preacher Boy in pursuit. Then Nil Desperandum, who was 4th of 9 in the finishers in the National last year. Then we have Sweet Diversion and Iris Blur, top of the home run. And here through on the inside comes Parsons Legacy under Richard Johnson, coming through to challenge for the lead with Swansea Bay. Preacher Boy out wide, and it's going to be Parsons Legacy into the lead. 3 from the finish. Parsons Legacy with the advantage. 2, Preacher Boy, yellow cap on the right. This is 3 out. Went through the top, Parsons Legacy, but had a 3-length lead over Preacher Boy in second place, and then Swansea Bay 2 out, and it's Parsons Legacy. And again, he went through the top, but over safely. 2, Preacher Boy at Wincanton again. Nil Desperandum stays on for place money. This is the last fence, and it's Parsons Legacy who takes it well. 2, Preacher Boy in second place, and Nil Desperandum as they race up toward the line. The Badger Rails Trophy goes to Mr. R.A.S. Otter's Parsons Legacy with the lead. 2 in second place came home Preacher Boy.
Well, isn't it funny how when things turn around? Richard Johnson's had a torrid week. He had a terrible time at Exeter earlier on the Tuesday. Hasn't had a winner since then. And now suddenly 2 on the trot, and he's won the big one here today on Parsons Legacy. For Philip Hobbs and Mr. Offer, the owner. And Parsons Legacy pretty much travelled and jumped well on the whole. There was the early exit of the favourite Ladalco, an early exit of Fork Lightning. Swansea Bay towed them along at a pretty good gallop, John.
Yeah, he looks as though he's got a national type here on his hands, Philip Hobbs. Stays, jumps, gallops, and looks after himself a little bit as well. You know, this is a trappy course, and he was always just in top gear, but he had a good partner in Richard Johnson, just keeps pushing away on him. And the horse in second, Preacher Boy's run really well. Ron Hodges will be thrilled with his first run. He looked plenty big enough beforehand. And so will Venetia Williams. I mean, a bit tight round here for Nil Desperandum. You know, he's normally used to go in 4 miles plus, but he's done well round a sharp track. And as you said, Swansea Bay ran well for an awful long time, but good to see Richard Johnson enjoying a bit of change of luck, really.
Certainly is. These fences down the home straight here take a little bit of jumping, don't they? They always look a bit big. I always think they're brave to go down the inside. They come back up at you a bit.
Yeah, there's a 7-metre fall from the bend on the far side down to the winning post. They're always just running slightly downhill, and if horses get tired, their back ends tend to catch them up. The fences are upright with a little bit of a drop, so they've got plenty going against them, but he looks after himself well, Parsons Legacy.
He wins at 16-1 from Preacher Boy at 14-1. Third, Nil Desperandum at 16-1.
Back here at Windsor with me, the champion jockey, Ryan Moore. Ryan had presentations and things today. What time of the season did you think, yes, I can do this?
I thought after like July. I thought I was in with a real big chance, and you know, just kept going. And I suppose from October, you know, it's basically been over since then. But you know, you just want to keep going, don't you? Keep trying to ride winners.
And it's, I mean, it's a punishing schedule. I know you're riding winners and it's a great target, but does the travelling get you down?
It does some days, but all the time you're riding winners, it keeps you going, and you know, it's enjoyable. Then if you have a couple of days without one and you've got to go to Wolverhampton or something, and you're not as happy about life. But you know, at the weekends, you know, it's always usually got nice rides to look forward to. So.
And you get great support from the family too?
Yeah, the family are very good. Mum, dad and brothers, sisters.
It's a real racing
yeah.
clan, isn't it, Ron?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
And what about your mount for Michael Stout here in the November Handicap?
He has a big chance of stepping up and trip, and I think that will suit him. He won a competitive race at Ascot, and I'm pretty sure he won't be far away.
Good way to finish the season.
Yeah, it would be, yeah. Try and go
Well
out on
done.
a winner.
Best of luck, mate.
Okay, thanks.
And in the betting ring book of music, he's priced at 6-1, and he's third in the betting behind this heavily gambled Godolphin horse Scriptwriter, 5-1 this morning. Opened up 11-4, went out 3, back to 11-4. Scriptwriter, Peppertree Lane, that's found some support. Peppertree Lane 6 is into 11-2. Book of music at 6-1. Group Captain is the one they don't want whatsoever. That's drifted out to 10-1. We've got a heap of horses on 14s, including Country Pursuit, who was around 28-1 this morning. Country Pursuit, that's only 14-1 now. The other Godolphin horse was put up as price-wise, Red Admiral, 16-1. That remains. It was put up as price-wise at 16-1. And other than that, it's 20-1 bar those. Now 5-2. I've just been signalled 5-2 Scriptwriter.
And down at Wincanton, the spoil's gone to Parsons Legacy. Good result for Philip Hobbs and Richard Johnson, who had a pretty torrid day of it earlier in the week at Devon, and Chilling Place was cannoned. But they've got the Badger in the bank. Time for a break.
Idiot! Idiot! It's the last time I take a tip from you!
Sorry, buddy.
That must be a total pain.
Yeah, and the rate is increasing.
Why don't you get rid of it?
Don't think I haven't thought about it.
Just cut it up into little pieces and problem gone. Then get a Capital One card instead.
Is paying too much interest a real headache? Switch to Capital One and get 0% on balance transfers until the 1st of January 2008 and 0% on purchases for the first 3 months. Call Capital One now on 0800 183 8383 or visit capitalone.co.uk.
Your order, sir?
Grilled woodpecker.
Whoa. What's in your wallet?
Imagine where your conversations could take you this Christmas.
Space travel's in my blood. There ain't nothing I can do about it. Long journeys wear me out. I know I can't live without it. Oh no, I think I'm on another world with you. With you. I think I'm on another planet with you.
With Vodafone Family, you can make unlimited calls between 4 people. Make the most of now.
Their magic made them enemies.
Need to know how he does it.
Their obsession made them dangerous.
Are you watching closely?
The Prestige.
My shop. Extended hours. My bank.
Try later.
Early doors. My cappuccino. Thrown in. My branch number. Thrown out. My favourite shop. New store. My bank. Trendy wine bar.
There is another way. Phones answer 24/7. A direct line to your local branch. And more branches now opening. No wonder every 12 seconds someone opens a bank account with NatWest. Isn't it time you switched?
Go on there! Get there! Get there! Go on there! Hornhorst! Hornhorst!
Welcome back to Windsor, everybody, where the decks are cleared for the last major race of the flat season. Totesport.com November Handicap, 20 run. There's a £6 overweight on 17 transvestite. Runners and riders, Simon Holt.
Yeah, as Patrick Hill's just claiming 6 of his £7 allowance on Transvestite. They're headed by Zero Tolerance, a likely front runner, 25-1 Michael Fenton. Come On Johnny at 20s, Seb Sanders. Group captain at 10-1 for Richard Hughes. Pepper Tree Lane, one of the fancied runners. Kevin Darley's mount 11-2. Scriptwriter for Godolphin, Ted Durkin, the favourite. Halstead Wings at 25's Joe Fanning. Book of Music, the mount of the champion jockey Ryan Moore at 6-1. Red Admiral at 14's Richard Hills. Cold Turkey and Eddie Ahern at 20's. Ursus at 50-1 for Dane O'Neill. Chancellor is ridden by Darrell Holland at 33-1. St Savaran at 14-1 Paul Hannigan. Jim Crowley rides Big Moment at 50s. Shambar is a grey. Martin Dwyer at 66-1. And Richard Mullen on Country Pursuit at 14-1. Castle Howard is the mount of Deborah England, claiming 750-1. Transvestite and Patrick Hills at 25s. At 14s, Bo Nash and Adrian McCarthy. Great View at 33-1 under Jimmy Quinn. And Resonate for Chris Hayes at 20-1. What a competitive way to end the flat season.
So we had a look at some of these earlier on. Let's check at some of the market leaders, starting with Group Captain, who lines up here in good form, ran well at Ascot last time, despite his trainer Roger Charlton feeling that maybe he wasn't in the best shape that he could get him in. He feels he is in that condition this afternoon. Pepper Tree Lane, representing Mark Johnson, gone at £15 for a successful spree in handicaps this season. He's an uncomplicated ride, usually handy, and he should go well again. Scriptwriter with the sheepskin cheek pieces is a horse who's had very little racing, made an impressive reappearance at York where he beat a well-handicapped horse in Top of 2. He's built on that, should go well. Book of Music, we've heard from the jockey Ryan Moore, who feels the horse has got a big chance. Best effort last time out on a soft surface when winning at Ascot. The step up in trip shouldn't be a problem. Red Admiral. It'd be silly to say Godolphin second string because he's got a decent chance in his own right. Second last time out to Best Prospect at Newbury. Pulled hard that day, could do with learning to relax a little bit more. St Savarin, who's been in good form, had a really good season for Richard Fahey. Second last time out to Pepper Tree Lane, which was a career best effort. He's gone up £3 for that. Country Pursuit represents Clive Britton, basically been running pretty well too, though the majority of his racing in recent times has been on the all-weather. And here's Bo Nash, who bids to put a really disappointing effort at Ascot behind him last time out, where he reportedly finished lame. The pick of his form in decent handicaps in the summer, and if he's in that sort of mood, he has a chance.
Well, a bit of a lively outsider in the market, this Bo Nash. He's 14-1 in the betting ring, but on the exchanges he's shortened up a bit each way. Well, we've got a shadow falling upon the betting ring here at Windsor. Now, do punters have any light at the end of the tunnel with no favourites winning so far today? They're certainly putting their faith in Scriptwriter, who is now 9-4, as short as 9-4 Scriptwriter. Pepper Tree Lane is 11-2. Book of Music starting to drift out at 13-2. Some lively outsiders. I've already mentioned Bo Nash. We've got Red Admiral now being clipped in. What's perceived as second string for Godolphin. Country Pursuit is a supported outsider. Then also at 14-1 St Savarin, and it's 20-1 bar those.
Well, it's still a couple of minutes till the off here at Windsor, so we're going to take in the closing stages of the third leg of the Scoop 6, the 3:10 at Sandown. Your commentator, Mark Johnson.
Inside the final furlong and a half they go. Dusky Lord has now got the lead. Slew Charm is in second. Trompette still has 2 lengths to find back in third. Here's the final flight. It was Slew Charm to the stand side. Dusky Lord over on the far side. Trompette has found absolutely nothing when asked. They're inside the final half furlong now, and under 11 stone 12 minus his young rider's claim, Dusky Lord has carried home to win by half a length. In second place, Slew Charm, and back in third, Trompette.
Well, Dusky Lord wins the 3:10 at Sandown. That's another win for Philip Hobbs, who collected down at Wincanton. The SP 6-1, the winner. Second, Slew Charm at 8-1. Third, the disappointing favourite, Trompette, 2-1. Right, after 4 legs, just 5 of you left in the Scoop 6. And plenty of work still to do. Well, Jim, have you had a wager in this?
Yeah, I've had a few quid on scriptwriter. I suppose the way the day's gone so far, your confidence goes nearer the time here. We've had one or two, well, not shocks, but one or two big form turnarounds. For example, our first listed contest, you know, a horse who'd run badly last time, Alfie Flips, pops up from nowhere and reverses form significantly. It does happen at this time of the year.
Yeah, there've not been major surprises, but it's been enough to cut down to 5 in the Scoop 6.
Absolutely.
It tells its story, doesn't it?
Yeah. But there should be plenty of pace on again here. It's a big field. They put in the old safety limit for this, so let's hope there's no trouble.
Here at Wincanton, we had the trophy presentation for our feature race, the Badger Rails Chase, and Mrs. David Woodhouse of Hall & Woodhouse Breweries presented the prize to Rodney Offer, the owner of Parsons Legacy. Well done to them.
Now back here, Windsor, the loading process going on, and I don't know, I thought this was a nightmarishly difficult race. This is Shambar, who's coming back off a very long break, 849 days, would you believe? And just a bit frisky on returning to the racecourse.
You do need a horse to travel here. By that I mean not run lazily, especially in a big field around Windsor.
You've got to be handy, Jim.
I don't know that you've got to be handy. I just think you've got to go comfortably within yourself, because the longest section really is the home straight.
So they're always doing something.
You're always doing something, yeah. And in a big field where, as I said, they've just changed the safety limit for this particular race, probably puts more of an emphasis on that than is usually the case.
Late news from Tanya down in the betting range.
Yeah, well, a favourite may not have won the November handicap since '95. Scriptwriter Alistair backed into 2-1 now. 2-1 from this morning's 5-1. Another well-backed horse, Pepper Tree Lane at 5s.
So Shambar going in. Scriptwriter, Pepper Tree Lane, Book of Music and Ursus. Still running for Scoop 6 punters. There are just 5 tickets remaining. Remember, they jump away for the Totesport.com November Handicap, the last big race of the 2006 flat race season. Shambar's gone off very quickly in front, far too fast, was free to post as well. Country Pursuit in second, Red Admiral is third in the white cap aboard Godolphin Silks, then Scriptwriter into 4th place in the all blue from last year's winner Come On Johnny and Bo Nash, and Zero Tolerance, who's often a front runner though is up in distance today. Pepper Tree Lane is close up with these. They're followed back in the field then by Transvestite in midfield, with Resonate towards the inside, St Savran in the midfield as well, chased by Group Captain. Chancellor's one of the rear division at this stage, with Cold Turkey and Big Moment also out the back, with Harstead's Wings, who's already being chased along. Racing for the bottom bend, and Shambar still the hare in front here, but for how long? Red Admiral in second place, Pepper Tree Lane now moving up and will have the inside advantage running into this bend. Kevin Darley in the maroon with the pale blue sleeves. Close up is Country Pursuit, and then Bo Nash making some ground, and Savran in the red cap, followed by Scriptwriter, the all blue with the cheek pieces. Come On Johnny is out wider now as they run round this right-hander. The leading bunch are tracked through by Transvestite, and then up the inside is Great View, followed by Red Admiral, and out wider Resonate, and then Castle Howard, who's very wide from Group Captain, and Ursus is further back as they start running up the straight. Big Moment towards the inside, one of the back markers with Cold Turkey and Harstead Wings inside the final half mile, and Shambar has surrendered the lead now. Pepper Tree Lane against the fence, Red Admiral in the white cap right there. Come On Johnny running another big race in this November handicap in the orange sleeves, and now strikes on as they run down inside the final 3 furlongs. Resonate has a chance, Castle Howard on the far side, Scriptwriter on the heels of the leaders being rowed along from Book of Music in the light blue cap, beginning to unwind with Group Captain wider out, but Resonate strikes on as they run down inside the final furlong and a half, and it's Resonate here towards towards the outside. Group Captain delivering his run, looks a big run too. Castle Howard's back in third, and then Book of Music in fourth. Inside the final furlong, Resonate nearest the fence. Group Captain just has the advantage though as they race towards the line. Group Captain and Resonate. Group Captain goes a length ahead of Resonate, and Group Captain wins the November Handicap from Resonate in second. Very close for third, Castle Howard and Book of Music. They were clear of Transvestite, Big Moment staying on. Then St Savran and Cold Turkey, scriptwriter Ursus Zero Tolerance, Chancellor Harstead Wings Great View, Pepper Tree Lane fading out of it from Country Pursuit and Red Admiral, and at the tail Beau Nash and the early front runner Shambar. Group Captain, who ran in this race 12 months ago, wins this time at 10-1 in the hands of Richard Hughes. Tremendous way to end the season for Richard and trainer Roger Charlton here, just mowing down Resonate, who ran a tremendous race at a big price. Resonate, who was tipped up by our very own Tanya Stevenson this morning on the morning line, and that was a really good tip, Tanya. She looked, this horse looked like winning a furlong and a half out, just run out of it. Very close for third. Third is number 7, Book of Music, and fourth, number 16, Castle Howard. Fifth, for information, number 17, Transvestite.
Right, result winner was number 3, Group Captain. Another massive negative to win today. I mean, Alfie Flitz won earlier, having drifted out badly. Group Captain, another huge drifter. I know that Roger Charlton was pondering whether to actually run Group Captain this week. Well, he's been rewarded by his faith in the horse. It wins at 10-1. Second was a very good run by Resonate at 20-1. The third horse was number 7, Book of Music, at 13-2. And the fourth horse, a very good ride by Deborah England to get Castle Howard at fourth at 50-1. Unplaced favourite, another beaten favourite at the end of this flat season at 2-1 was scriptwriter.
Well, a really good battle in the closing stages. Roger Charlton's Group Captain. I just said beforehand, Roger, although this horse was second at Ascot last time, he was quoted in the Racing Post this morning as saying he didn't think the horse was in quite top form on that occasion. He felt he was in better condition today. But he looked like having to settle for second best at one stage as Resonate under Chris Hayes made a bold bid and looked as though he had the race won at this stage, but he's just not quite so strong in terms of a finishing effort. Horse, that is, not the jockey, inside the final furlong. Book of Music's run well, likewise Castle Howard on the outside. The market leaders were relatively disappointing. It's Richard Hughes and Roger Charlton who take the season's final top honour.
Yeah, good result for Roger Charlton, and terrific tip from Tanya. Second at 20s, Resonate, made a good case out for that. But the scriptwriter plunge has gone awry and astray. But the result, the prize goes back to Beckhampton, double for Richard Hughes, and could be a good way to close out the season.
Well, unfortunately, the Scoop 6 hasn't been won this week. Those holders of the 5 tickets weren't able to find the winner of the November Handicap. So it'll roll over to next week. The win fund, 185,741. The bonus, 79,603.
Back here at Wincanton, Philip Hobbs joins me now. Philip, I have to say that watching racing over the last couple of weeks, I've just thought, what have you done wrong recently?
Yeah, but luck always evens out, doesn't it? So it's better today anyway. Last 2 races we won, so that's good.
Yeah, fantastic. Parsons' legacy, you must be thrilled with that, because he didn't win a race last year, did he?
No, he didn't. Got placed several times at Cheltenham and other places, but he is a horse that runs well fresh, so this was the plan for a long time and worked out very well.
Certainly did. What would be the plan now? Frankham thinks he might be a national horse for you.
Well, I hope he's right. He's 124 at the moment, and obviously he'll go up from today. So, yeah, he'd nearly be squeaking in the bottom of the handicap a race like the National, but I think today was the plan anyway. We'll worry about the rest afterwards.
He has got an entry in the Hennessy. Is that something you'd take up or not?
I should think even with his penalty be out the handicap anyway, so probably unrealistic. But we'll look at it, yeah.
Well, a nice prize and nice for Richard as well, because, I mean, it's awful watching those incidents, but I think being involved in what was happening at X2 was terrible.
Yeah, but you know, one of JP's great sayings, no lives lost. That's the main thing, isn't it? I mean, Shilling Place was all right, Out the Black was okay, and Richard could have an awful injury, and he was all right, you know. So all was fine. So they can all go another day. That's the main thing.
Yeah, and all forgotten now after these 2 winners. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and good news here that Ruby Walsh back in action. Looks a little bit sore walking out into the paddock. Got a good old kicking when he had a fall in the race before, but he rides the favourite here. Odds-on favourite, Desert Quest. He's given a lot of weight away to Crowwood, who was a good flat horse. Well done in and I'll have 6 more goes at saying that. And in and out time of it on the flat this year. And did pretty well over hurdles last season, 5-1. Noble Request, who improved dramatically at the back end of last season. He won the Scottish Champion Hurdle and then won on the last day at Sandown. Faisal's a big price, 9-1 about him. He's a horse with plenty of ability on the flat, and I don't think he's run on really quick round like this for some time. Royal Shakespeare, of course, was the Order of Merit winner last year and won this race as well, 16-1. And Flame Creek on something of a recovery mission.
Back here at Windsor, Richard Hughes returning after winning the November Handicap on Group Captain for Roger Charlton. A good day's work, his second winner of the day. We've got the Elite Hurdle coming up at Wincanton. Could well be some Champion Hurdle clues there. See you in a couple of minutes.
Get in there, the old one too! Mr. Exactor does it again!
Good oral health is part of your overall health. Philips Sonicare. Sonicare helps to improve your oral health. Its patented sonic technology creates dynamic cleaning action, getting deep between the teeth and along the gum line for a healthier mouth. Simplicity is brushing your teeth and helping to take care of your body at the same time. Philips Sonicare. Ask your dental professional about good oral hygiene.
Do you have the code? The Armani Code. Dragons for Men by Giorgio Armani.
We forgot the serenader. Well, let's do it now. Now.
Let me call you sweetheart, I'm in love with you. Let me call you sweetheart. Let me call you sweetheart.
This Christmas, Orange has broadband and mobile offers that help you stay close all year round. Togetherness. Keep it going.
With 2 sizes and 5 or 7 seats, the new Scenic's always ready for the next big thing.
If you need careers advice that's tailored to fit you, call the Learn Direct advice line.
Hello, is that Learn Direct?
Yes, it is. How can I help you?
We can now help you with things like improving your CV or preparing for an interview.
Good luck with your new job.
So you can make the most of your skills. For careers advice, call 0800 100 900.
We'll beat your home insurance renewal quote, or we'll drop our price by up to £100 and give you £50 when you switch. Insurance from Barclays.
Inquiry. Oh no, Barry, Stuart's inquiry. It's all right, Tony. It was nothing.
Welcome back to Windsor, everybody. With me now, Richard Hughes, just won the November Handicap with Group Captain. 4 winners last Saturday and 2 today.
Yeah, it's going well. I think I told Lizzie, my wife, that I was surely right 2 or 3 today, so I was...
And 3 seconds, I think.
3 seconds, so I was knocking on the door.
Take us through that race. I mean, it's a complicated place to ride. Do you have a decent run through?
Had a great run. 20 didn't look a great draw, but I had the option to go anywhere I wanted. So down at the junction, I spotted Ryan Moore. I said, well, he'll take me far enough, and I got a half-decent position then around the bend, and I went a little bit wide up the straight, but I always had a bit of cover, so I was fine.
And Roger was saying that, you know, he thought he'd freshen this horse up a bit for today.
Yeah, there was a bit of a kick in the step today. In Ascot, he hung that bad on me I couldn't get by Pepper Tree Lane, and I just leaned on him and I couldn't get a belt into him at all. So it probably cost me the race, but as soon as he met the rail today, he straightened up and ran on.
And he's tough too. I mean, he's willing.
He is willing. Just at the junction there, I was clipping heels of Kruger, and more I let him clip heels. He was loving it, you know, and then he came really good.
What are you up to over the winter? Do you get a break? We have to go and help Dad out with the jumpers.
I suppose I will a bit. All undecided at the moment. I'm going to take a good holiday first.
You deserve it, I think, at the end of the season.
I'll have a backside coming 2 weeks' time.
Okay. Well done, Rich.
Cheers.
Thanks a lot.
Back here at Wincanton, the sun was low as predicted, and Rebecca Morgan said to us this morning that over the last 2 days she's been out at this hurdle and been worried. And once again, the sun is very low. So the first hurdle as you go turn out of the home straight has been omitted for this elite hurdle coming up. The £1 million Tote 10 to follow elite hurdle, which is coming up here. It's a grade 2. And £50,000 in prize money here for this race. And 7 hurdles to jump, 6 go to post. Non-runner here is Peruse. And don't forget, it's the 5th leg of the Racing UK Order of Merit. First place, 15 points, down to 6th place, 4 points for 6th.
Yeah, that's what you imagine. They got a good race for this. Desert Quest won last Saturday. He's odds-on favourite. Noble Request, who I mentioned before, improved dramatically at the end of last season. 11-2. Faisal, biggest prize for me and best value for money. 11-1 shot for Brian Harding. Royal Shakespeare, maybe another one. We just like the look of him. Still only 7 years old. And 2 down the bottom, Flame Creek, who was formerly, of course, with Noel Chance, been chasing 40-1. Crowwood 5-1. Doug Costello taking £3 off his back. So the top horse here, Desert Quest, giving a stone and about £9 to the bottom one. Quite a lot of weight, but if he's going to take his hand in the champion hurdle, then he'll need to be up to this. Travels well. It was a good flat horse with David Loader, and improved a lot last year. Looked a little bit quirky at one stage, but Paul gave him plenty of time, gave him a couple of easy races, and it did his confidence the world of good. Well, got a big confidence booster in his first run this season, coming down to the last Saturday at Ascot, and Ruby Walsh on board. Just had to let out a reefer rain. Good horse in second of Nicky Henderson's, Caracciolo, absolutely blew him aside. And Paul said that he didn't think that he would improved from last Saturday to this Saturday, because he said he's been fairly easy on him, but he said in the next 2 or 3 weeks, he said we'll see a difference. Mentally, though, he looks to be in really good form. So's the man in the Erie, Graham Good.
They're off. And Crowwood, no messing about here. This one goes into an early lead. Royal Shakespeare can front run. He's sat in second. Flame Creek in third. Desert Quest runs 4. Red Jacket Fazel held up in 5. And Noble Request, a grey horse, at the back of the pack as they spin down towards what is now 7 flights of hurdles, over the first of which all are safe. And a Noble Request at the back. But it's going to be Crowwood with the advantage here. Clear by about 5 to Flame Creek on the right. The horse with the noseband is Royal Shakespeare. The purple jacket of Desert Quest at the second, over which Crowwood was safe, and so too the others. So the order as they come up past us in this £1 million Tote 10 to follow elite hurdle race. It's going to be Crowwood with the lead here as he makes the run to the turn that takes him to the back straight with an advantage of some 6 to 8 lengths. To Royal Shakespeare, who sits on the inside of Flame Creek, and then Desert Quest, followed through by Fazel. And Noble Request at the back. Should be jumping a flight of hurdles now, but because of this sun, they're not. And it's Crowwood with the lead. Still cleared by 6, bowling along in front with lots of enthusiasm. This one has the edge. To Royal Shakespeare in second place, and Flame Creek in third. Then Desert Quest and Fazel being held up, the red jacket, Brian Harding. Red and white Noble Request at the back of the pack. They spin down the back straight then and towards flight number 3, over which Crowwood will show to advantage and a good jump. And the Flame Creek falls there. So it's going to be Crowwood with the lead. 2. Royal Shakespeare in second, and then Desert Quest running in third, the inside. And then Noble Request, and then Fazel. So Crowwood with the initiative past halfway in this £50,000 hurdle race. Crowwood with the lead to last year's winner Royal Shakespeare, then Desert Quest and Noble Request and Fazel. Noble Request just to kick the top of that. Crowwood with the lead. Dougie Costello just looks round to see where the others are. Must have been very quiet. He's been clear for a long way. Turning out of the backstretch then, and here Royal Shakespeare's joined by Desert Quest, who gets through on the inside, then Fazel, and then Noble Request. Turning out of the back straight and heading for home. 2 more flights of hurdles to jump, but it's Crowwood with the lead, but that lead now only 3 lengths. Desert Quest giving lumps of weight away on the inside of Royal Shakespeare, and then Fazel, and then Noble Request turning in. Crowwood made all the running so far. Royal Shakespeare to the right, horse with a noseband. Purple jacket Desert Quest, red colours Fazel, red and white is Noble Request at the back. Winding up the tempo, coming down towards the second last, and Crowwood with the lead. Desert Quest jumped it well in second, in third in fact Royal Shakespeare second, and then Noble Request, Ruby getting in ever lower, but Crowwood keeps up the momentum. They come down towards the final flight of hurdles. Crowwood, look to the left, it's Desert Quest, Crowwood only by a length to Desert Quest, who's giving plenty of weight away, and then Royal Shakespeare, and then Noble Request. It's Crowwood who's made all the running so far. Desert Quest is having to come stand side. A shake of the reins as they race up towards the line. Crowwood, Desert Quest, Crowwood, Desert Quest. Crowwood makes all. Desert Quest is second, Royal Shakespeare, and then Noble Request.
Well, Crowwood was fancied by Jim earlier on today, and he won at 9-2, had some good flat form, and of course was getting an awful lot of weight from the second horse, just carrying 10-4 Crowwood from Desert Quest, 11-10. Good run from Desert Quest, but was it good enough to see him feature in the championship races later?
I would think so. I think time will prove that this was an almost impossible task, trying to give the weight to this horse. He had an easy lead, he was getting plenty of weight. Dougie Costello gave him a well-judged ride from the front, and more importantly, got the horse jumping really fluently. In the past, he hasn't been quick enough over his hurdles, but today he hurdled well. But Ruby Walsh, it was lovely watching him. He just timed everything right. He saved just a little bit for the last 50 yards, but just didn't have enough. But this Crowwood, in the end, he's got to say he's won quite nicely. He was disappointed, I thought, at Cheltenham last year. It was a big fancy of mine going into the festival, and slightly disappointed. And he's been a bit in and out on the flat. But given the tactics this afternoon, the way things have gone, he's done really well. And for a £3 claimer, he's given him a great ride.
The Quinn team have done really well as well, haven't they, recently, both on the flat and over hurdles. I think their hurdling strike rate must be incredible at the moment. I don't know what the stats are exactly, but I was at Market Raising the other day and they had a nice winner, and John Quinn, he's one of the most understated dual-purpose trainers.
Yes, well, of course, he started off winning the Lincoln as well, and his horses have just held their form particularly well. And this horse, as I said, he's been on the go a while, but it's just catching him in the right frame of mind. But it'll make the long journey back up to Yorkshire seem an awful lot shorter than the one, certainly. Well, it's shorter anyway than the one Faisal's going to encounter, but there'll be a long way back with him, but not for this lad.
No, 12-1 from 10-1 for the champion hurdle is the reaction from Blue Square for Desert Quest. So they feel clearly weren't too impressed with today's performance, but as you said, he has come up against a decent horse.
I think round here on this ground, I said, you know, the likes of Brave Inca, they've all been struggling to have done much better than this.
And Royal Shakespeare's run a good race in third. He's gone well for a long way, and he looked, certainly when he was here in the paddock beforehand, he looked very well, but he looked like he could have done with the run.
Yeah, well, as we said this morning, you know, you forget that he's only 7 years old still. He seems to have been round for an awful long time. He's just walking in behind us, having a good blow. But that was a good trial, and there won't be too many disappointed trainers.
Here's the Racing UK Order of Merit update. Brave Inca is the 5-1 favourite to win the Racing UK Order of Merit this year. Impact, Cato Star, Arvik, Redemption and Crowwood are now all equal first after the first 5 legs, 15 points apiece. And of course we've just had the 5 leg. The next race is the Paddy Power Gold Cup next Saturday at Cheltenham, leg 6. Well, Impact won the 4th leg earlier on in the week, and in this incident-packed race, the Holden Gold Cup at Exeter.
Well, yeah, Chilling Place got knocked out and got knocked out by Racing Demon, Impact's stable companion, but this horse has been transformed since they've started making the running with him, Impact, and they'll be looking forward to Kempton on Boxing Day.
Crowwood coming back to a great reception here. The crowd at Wincanton, very, very knowledgeable. Well done, as John mentioned, to Dougie Costello, taking that £3 off. Just 10-1 for this horse, but well placed by the Quinn team.
Well, back here at Windsor, Roger Charlton going up to receive prize after the victory of Group Captain in the Manchester November Handicap from Mrs. Noel Harworth, Non-Executive Director of the Nanny Goat.
So let's look at the final standings for the Channel 4 Trophy on the turf. It's Red Evie who wins the award for trainer Michael Bell, known as Terry Neal, just shading Alambic and Cashel Mead, representing Sir Mark Prescott and John Spearing, respectively.
Well, later in the day, Ryan Moore received his award as champion jockey. All the lads turning out to mark the occasion, and a bottle of champagne. There were a few of those flying about, and Pat Edery doing the honours, presenting him with the trophy, the flat champion jockey of 2006. And the winning apprentice, Steve Donahoe, 22 years old, and a great moment for him. Pat doing the honours once more, and a great season for Steve.
And the champions, the trainer, Sir Michael Stout, another fantastic year for him, and Sheikh Mohammed, the leading owner in charge of the Godolphin operation.
Well, back here at Wincanton, I'm joined by Dougie Costello. Many congratulations. Great win on Crowwood.
Yeah, he's really quick, like, you know, and he's carrying 10-4. He's lightest weight so far. Like, he's classy, beast, like, you know, so.
We did well, because he doesn't always jump that well. Was it always the plan to bounce out?
Well, it was in, like, a race like this, when there's no actually pace. Like, I thought probably Shakespeare might just take us along, but with 10-4, he can't actually sit, like, and wait as such. But he's so quick. You know, as I said, I turned along the back, and with the first flat flight, like, he's winged it, and I'm going, bloody hell, and then along the back I just kept squeezing him, and like, he took a length or two each time. As we turned along the side, I just set and filled him, and then up the straight, kicked again, like, but not too much, like.
Well done. He's in at Cheltenham next week. Do you think he'll go?
I say it's down to Mr. Quinn and the owners as such.
Okay, I've got to let you go and weigh in. Well done, Dougie.
Cheers.
And some wonderful scenes here at Windsor on this autumnal day. Eton College, not so very far away from Windsor Racecourse. The exclusive school. 18 Prime Ministers educated at Eton. Meanwhile, the sun going down over the River Thames, and the sun went down on all you taking part in today's Tote Scoop 6, because it wasn't one. Just to confirm, the rollover funds, the win for next week, 185,741, and the bonus, 79,603.
Well, on the highlights of the day was always going to be the clash between War of Attrition and B4 Salmon at Down Roll. They didn't let us down.
War of Attrition comes through on the inner now to just pick it up with Justified on the outer at the second last. War of Attrition touches down in front. Justified second. Cloudy Bay's the faller. Boher now's on Ship Davy Condon, and it is the Gold Cup winner. War of Attrition who leads. B4 Salmon who's trying to come back at him on the near side. They're over the final fence, and War of Attrition has a battle on. Here comes B4 Salmon, a winner here 2 years ago. A tremendous finish to the Jim Nicholson. B4 Salmon on the near side. B4 Salmon and Andrew McNamara is going to win it for the second time and beat the Gold Cup winner, War of Attrition.
Real gutsy performance by B4 Salmon, and top-class jumping action underway, and we've got some fabulous jumping action for you next weekend. It's the Cheltenham Paddy Power Open, of course, 3 days, Friday, it's Countryside Day in the Sporting Index Cross Country. Saturday, Paddy Power Gold Cup. And we've also got action from Wetherby, the Tote Sport Handicap Chase. And on Sunday, we've got the Greatwood Handicap Hurdle, the likes of Detroit City, likely runners, and also bringing you in action from Fontwell Park. Now, Jim, just very quickly, that was a good performance by Desert Quest.
It was a very good performance. I mean, it's interesting that one bookmaker's just lengthened him for the champion hurdle. I would have thought he deserved to be shortened rather than lengthened.
Well, I was just thinking, if anyone's mug enough to lengthen, we might go and nick a bit of that.
12 to 1's probably a big price.
Now, don't forget, as well as all this great jumps action to look forward to, we've got the Breeders' Cup on RUK and Racing World tonight. That's channels 432 and 433, respectively. All the action on both those. But the flat season is finished. Roger Charlton's taken the last big race. It's now jumpers and masses to look forward to.
Stamps his class and he comes up the hill to win the Beulah Hurdle.